What's up, guys? It's Andrew Wright with another Review the Right Thing. I'm excited to be talking about some more music today. We're going to be talking about the new Run the Jewels RTJ 4, and it's a pretty incredible album, as I already mentioned in my last review for the... What did I do? That Stormtrooper Commander for the Gaming Greats line from GameStop, and mentioned that it's basically revolution music, and I love it. It's really, really good. I would say between this and RTJ 2, it's like splitting hairs for me. Both are pretty close to being my favorite of all their stuff. I think I still like RTJ 2 a little bit more, but man, this album rules. It's really, really good, and so let's get into this. Opens up with Yankee and the Brave, Part 4, or Episode 4. And this is a pretty hard-hitting opener. It clocks in just a little over 2 minutes long. Has some great verses in it. One of my favorites being, he mentions about putting villains in charge. All we're doing is arguing, and basically we won't do anything about it until all souls have been harvested by their corporate greed and, you know, however you want to look at it. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome song. Really like this one a lot. Ooh La La, the next track with DJ Premier, features some awesome scratching in this by The Godfather. This beat hits really hard and has like some mixing in there that almost sound like feminine sighs into the beat, but it sounds really cool mashed up with all the music and everything. So far, all the tracks in this album, we're only 2 tracks in, have a much more classic feel to them. Not nearly as electronic in sounding as, you know, the beats that have been boasted on previous RTJ works. Out of Sight is track 3 with 2 Chainz. Also pretty great track. Again, keeps the classic kind of more organic feel and less of the electronic feel. 2 Chainz verse is pretty awesome in it. Just like anything that 2 Chainz really writes, it's usually pretty clever but pretty cheesy. But I really just enjoy him overall. Less as like a solo artist. I definitely enjoy his stuff for definitely more of a comedic value, but I always like his features. He's always pretty awesome on other people's songs and writes some pretty great verses. So another solid track. Holy Kalamafuck is definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. I think these next actually few are probably my favorite arc on the album. This song has like some pretty crazy metal clanging sounds along with some really deep bassy synths. And it's pretty awesome. It's just got a really awesome production in the song. More of a slow hitting boom bap kind of sound, and I love it. Goonies vs. E.T. is another awesome track. It's got some really thick bass, hard hitting sound, and this really kind of extraterrestrial synth going on in the background. Pretty eerie, pretty awesome. I feel like this song kind of takes some stabs at how we treat our planet and the importance that we put on social media. Walking in the Snow, next track, probably one of the most activist kind of songs on the album. This song is really just about our corrupt system, and it's about everything from our government to our education system to our incarceration system to how we've become desensitized as people to the things that have been going on for years and years. And I think we've just gotten so used to seeing it all that it just didn't matter anymore. You know, it wasn't happening directly to anyone around us, you know, because much like I'm sure a lot of other people like me, we didn't grow up in like a bad neighborhood or anything. I have, you know, since I've been an adult, lived in more rundown areas, I guess, per se, but never felt I was in any kind of threat, you know. So it was just, I was a poor working kid, you know, moved out of my house, and that was what I could afford. Lived with 2 roommates, but never had an issue. All our neighbors were pretty awesome. So that was, you know, my biggest, the only time I really ever experienced anything outside of my bubble that I grew up in, essentially. So, you know, but things have been happening for years, and we've just never read between the lines. Just another track that I feel like is definitely like a punch in the face song, you know, with the chorus, you know, it just, how can you not just get behind it? It's just, wow. Look at all these slave masters posing on your dollar. Get it? Like I said, these last kind of 3 tracks in this arc have been some of my favorite. Walking in the Snow obviously speaks a lot of, hard truths. And then again, just, think about who we've been memorializing this whole time. The people who we put up on these pedestals, and maybe we shouldn't have. I mean, yes, they're important people to know in your history, but do we need to idolize them? It's a good question to ask. So, tear the shit down. Never Look Back feels really similar to Goonies versus E.T. It's got this really kind of slow, hard-hitting synths, very eerie sounding. Another great track, though. Ground Below, a song that feels like they're really fighting for their reputations as rappers and as human beings. Pretty awesome song, more great production, more of a classic boom bap kind of sound again. Another solid track on the album. And even at this point, late in the album, even after the great arc that we had with Goonies versus E.T., Walking in the Snow, and this album just doesn't let up. It just continues to just stay awesome. Pulling the Pin, I really feel like talks about the problems with our capitalist system and focuses on the people, us, who are really the only people that have the ability to change anything. Pick who we buy things from, monetarily who we support. We are the voice, essentially. And so it's up to us as consumers to basically start the change or be the change. Josh Homme is featured on this song, has some great guitar work. Obviously pretty simplistic, but very catchy. Mavis Staples on the chorus. And it's just an awesome track as well. Few Words for the Firing Squad is the last track on the album. Song has some pretty awesome sax work, and really just kind of grows as a song. It's got this slow progression as far as like the music building. And this really features Jamie and Mike talking about where they came from, how they got to where they were, the fact that money isn't really everything, and unfortunately the most villainous people in our system are the ones that control it. And furthermore, how Mike and Jamie want to continue on through the future. What voice do they want to have? So, with all that said, like I said at the beginning of this review, it's like splitting hairs between this and RTJ 2. I think I like production more on this album overall. Obviously, I love the electronic-y kind of beats that LP always goes for on previous works. But I'm definitely a fan of, more classic production in the music, and it's pretty awesome. I would probably give this record a 9.5. If I ever make a decision on whether I like RTJ 2 more than this, it would only be incrementally more. So I think this album's amazing, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So what do you think? Let's talk about it in the comments. Do you have a favorite RTJ? Is this album it? And if you like one of the other ones more, why so? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you like my videos, click the little bell. It'll notify you every time I put up more content. Click the little red subscribe button, and you can see more Review the Right Thing. Thank you guys again for watching. Love you all. Stay safe. Have a good one.